Do you know the one thing that all businesses have in common? It's change. Whether it be in regards to industry, size, market, or geography, companies are always changing. It can be hard to predict consumer and market trends, especially when things are constantly changing. However, it is vital that businesses have the right people on their team to meet all of the changes that come their way. This can be accomplished with effective human resource planning. This allows businesses to anticipate their workforce needs and prepare for any challenges ahead. Today, we will be looking at what human resource planning is and what steps you should take to make sure that it is effective. I'm Raid, here with JobForm. Let's get started. Human resource planning is a systematic process that organizations use to figure out who they need on the team to reach their business goals. It can also be referred to as workforce planning. This type of planning involves creating a hiring strategy, forecasting needs, planning for recruitment, providing training and development, and optimizing people's unique talents and skills. Human resource planning is meant to minimize workforce, talent, or skill set shortages and surpluses. It allows for businesses to navigate any internal and external changes that could affect their operations. When businesses conduct human resource planning, they're able to reach their overarching goals in an organized way. There are plenty of other advantages as well. Human resource planning can help organizations to prepare for future growth. Understanding how many staff members you will need, when you will need them, and how much they will cost is a crucial aspect of growing a business. It can also allow you to adapt to external changes. If there are any economic, consumer, or competitive shifts, then your business will be able to respond quickly. You can also adjust to any internal changes. Your business will be better prepared for any internal organizational shifts as long as you have effective succession planning and career trajectory planning. Human resource planning can also reduce any organizational risks. Having a systematic and strategic approach to hiring and developing people allows you to mitigate certain risks for the organization. This is much safer than hiring on a whim or without a plan. And finally, human resource planning ensures that everyone working for your business has the right skills. You'll have the right number of staff members, as well as staff members with the specific skills you need to reach business goals. Now, let's take a look at the steps organizations should follow when creating a human resource plan. Keep in mind that each organization should customize these steps in order to meet their individual needs. Factors including industry, business size, customer segments, and competitors will all come into play. First, you'll need to understand and analyze company objectives. Take the time to establish the short-term and long-term goals that your organization wants to achieve. These plans usually start by outlining the vision, mission, and core values of the business. What is the why of your company? This helps to clearly identify what everyone in the business is working toward. Lay out the business goals that have been established at the leadership level. These goals can include increasing revenue by a certain percentage or becoming a market leader in a certain category over a certain period of time. When you have a clear set of measurable goals, you are provided with a pathway for establishing which employees you'll need to get the job done. For instance, if one of your business goals is to increase sales of an enterprise product, then your business will likely need more people who have expertise in selling to enterprise customers. Along with the goals of your organization, there are other elements to consider during this first step. You'll need to determine your budget allocation. What will your budget be for the next fiscal year or several years? This estimate will be fine-tuned in later steps, but you'll need a ballpark figure to start with. You should also establish the key performance indicators for human resource management. How will your business measure success for your initiatives? This can include metrics for employee engagement, turnover, retention, productivity, and cost per hire. Next, identify who internally or externally will be a key partner in helping you reach the goals. Internally, this could include certain department managers or an executive. Externally, it can include a recruitment firm that focuses on a specific career category. Take the time to look into all possible changes. Consider the likelihood that the long-term direction of your business may change. For instance, if an executive leaves the company mid-year, or if a competitor corners the market on a product, what will the future of your company look like? And lastly, get feedback from the field. Check in with the people on the ground. When high-level strategy doesn't include feedback from employees, it can lead to potential problems down the line. By including employee feedback in your strategy and human resource planning, you can get insights that you otherwise would not have. Our next step is to review the current environment. The first step is all about figuring out where your business wants to go in the future. And the second step is about understanding where your business is right now. This stage requires that your business conducts a detailed internal and external scan of your current environment and resources. First, analyze your business internally. Start by organizing your employees based on skill. Look at your current number of employees, then organize them based on specific skill sets or expertise that brings value to your business. Let's use a bakery as an example. A bakery may categorize their employees based on the type of baked goods each person specializes in. This can include cakes, breads, and pastries. Now let's use a tech company. Their employees may be categorized based on their department, including development, QA, marketing, and sales. Then determine the future potential of your employees. It's important to understand how employees can bring added value to your business. For instance, if you invest in professional development for your employees, could they possibly learn new skills and trades that can assist the business in reaching its goals? Or is it preferable to hire someone who already has those skills? And lastly, consider any possible changes. Are there any employees who are set to retire in the next 3 years, or who are going to be promoted in the next fiscal year? Be sure to factor in any likely changes to your current workforce and how that will affect your human resource plan. Then analyze the external factors of your business. Look at supply and demand, and consider the market labor for the specific skill sets you are looking for. Figure out if there is a shortage or surplus of those types of candidates in the market, and see if this is likely to change soon. And finally, review labor trends. Are there any trends within the labor market or within recruitment that may affect your plan? For instance, the development of a new technology could change the way people work or could change the types of skills people need to do specific jobs. Our next step is to forecast future demand. Now that you have an understanding of where your business wants to go in comparison to where it currently is, you'll have to get specific about what it will take to reach your goals. In some cases, it might make sense for human resource plans to begin with this step. You should also keep the larger business goals of your company in mind when forecasting future demand, as well as the KPIs you've set for the HR department. Forecasting typically includes two separate elements, known as quantitative and qualitative forecasting. Quantitative forecasting refers to the number of employees you will need to accomplish the business goals. You can determine this by reviewing the measurable business goals. For example, if your goal is a 30% increase in sales, based on your typical sales cycle and customer acquisition process, you can estimate that achieving this increase will require hiring 3 salespeople and 2 marketing managers. And then there's qualitative forecasting, which refers to the specific expertise and skill sets you will need to accomplish the business goals. To determine the type of employees you will need, consider the methods of achieving business goals. For instance, your business may require employees with exceptional leadership skills or expertise in Python. A combination of quantitative and qualitative elements are required for effective forecasting. Only utilizing one approach won't give you a complete picture of the people your business needs to reach its goals. The next step is to identify any gaps within your business. Forecasting looks at what resources your company will need, but your business should also consider the supply of talent. Figure out where your employees will come from. Will they be external hires or employees promoted from within? For some organizations, this step is conducted at the same time as forecasting. This aspect helps you determine any gaps in your current organization that you need to fill. It's a good idea to compare your forecast to your current talent pool within your business. Here are some important questions that you should be asking yourself. Are there any current employees who can take on the roles you've identified in your forecast? If so, will they require any training or professional development? How much will this training cost? And how long will it take before your employees have the skills necessary to fulfill this new role? Will you need additional employees to take on recently vacated roles, or will those roles be redundant? How many employees will you need to hire from outside of the organization, and what kind of skills or expertise will those employees need to have? For most organizations, hiring and onboarding new employees can cost a lot of money and take up a lot of time. This is why most organizations prefer to look internally to fill gaps before looking externally. Once your organization has determined the gaps that can't be filled internally, you can begin to consider external sources for hiring. Now it's time to develop your human resource action plan. It's important that you have an actionable step-by-step plan to fill the resource gaps you've identified. There are 3 key ways to fill these gaps. You can either train and develop existing employees, hire new employees, or outsource specific projects or tasks. When training existing employees, you're able to meet your business goals with people who already know your core values and systems. You can save a considerable amount of time and resources in comparison to recruiting new employees. But if you don't have the quantity or quality of employees needed to achieve your business goals, then it's time to look externally. Explore multiple recruitment channels like referrals, direct recruiting, or working with a recruiting agency to determine what is right for the business. If these options aren't right for your business, then you can always outsource the role to another business or consultancy. This is usually done for project-related work, not for a full-time position. Outside of deciding how you will fill the employee gaps, you should also outline things like your schedule and budget. Estimate how long it will take to complete the hiring or training activities you've identified, and figure out when your business can expect to see results. You should also identify what the hiring or training activities will cost. Make sure that your priorities are set in stone so that you can identify the order of importance for all human resource planning activities. Outline your company culture. How will you ensure that the mission and core values of your business are consistently communicated to new and existing employees during this period of change? Look into how the corporate culture will change or remain the same. And finally, lay out your communication strategies. Remember that organizational changes can cause stress and feelings of uncertainty among employees if they are not kept informed. Now it's time to put your plan into play. The hardest part of human resource planning is actually implementing the plan. Your human resource management team will need to roll up their sleeves and begin the hard work. Here are some tips for making the implementation process easier. After you've created your action plan, make sure that you get buy-in from the leadership team. You will need formal approval and advocacy before moving forward. Delegate all tasks clearly. Your human resource management team should understand what each person is responsible for and when they need to accomplish it. For instance, one person may be responsible for training existing employees, while another is responsible for recruiting efforts. Next, utilize technology solutions to both automate and track your activities. Trying to manually track employee training can be challenging and time-consuming. Instead, consider using a human resource management system, or HRMS, to automate specific processes within your action plan. Most importantly, be sure to communicate often. Your organization should be informed of progress at regular intervals, such as weekly or monthly. This means that there won't be any surprises, and business leaders will be aware of the plan's progress at each step. And finally, monitor and adjust your plan as necessary. To ensure the success of your strategic planning, make sure that you monitor and measure your results. For human resource planning, it's important that you review the progress of the plan at regular intervals to see if you are achieving the desired results. If something isn't working, then it requires special attention. If something is tracking ahead of schedule, then your business may be able to learn from it and replicate that strategy in other areas. You can also set up a process for tracking progress and measuring KPIs. This can be something simple like setting up a weekly meeting with the members of the team who are implementing the plan. You're able to discuss what activities they have completed and whether they are facing any obstacles. Okay, let's review. Today we discussed human resource planning, which is a systematic process that organizations use to determine who they need on the team to reach their business goals. We also discussed the 7 main steps for effective human resource planning, but this can change depending on the individual organization. First, understand and analyze company objectives. Then, review the current company environment. Next, forecast future demand and identify any gaps within your business. Then, develop a human resource action plan. Finally, it's time to put your plan into play and adjust your plan as needed. Following these steps will ensure that your business reaches all of its goals.